Well, here are my top wedding tips if you're booking a music band, and if you don't listen up, you just won't stress on your big day. I'm a singer-songwriter and I performed at over 150 weddings with my wedding band, so I've been to a wedding or two. And save this if you want to come back to remember for later. So first tip, have you checked with the venue about the sound restrictions? In fact, some wedding venues might even have equipment to monitor the amount of decibels that a band can play to, or they could even have a sound limiter that cuts the power to the band music. And so why is that a problem? It means that halfway through the band playing, if they hit a certain level of sound or certain volume, bam, the sound cuts out. So you really need to check with that wedding venue about their protocols and their terms when it comes to live music, so you don't get any nasty surprises. Tip number 2, get your song requests in early. So you'll have a set list from the band that will probably be what they're going to play on the day. However, you might have 1 or 2 songs that you'd like the band to play. Did you know that there is a point when the band can't take any more requests because they simply won't have enough time to learn that music? Leave at least 2 weeks minimum lead time for those song requests, and you should enjoy them on your big day. Next up, decide on the kind of music you want played on the big day. You might love drum and bass, but if your demographic of people are a room full of boomers, they might want Motown and some rock music. If they're millennials, they might want Y2K music and pop hits. On to the next wedding tip. Try and keep to a schedule. I know it's super hard. You're going to have first dances to think about, you're going to have speeches, food, and you're probably going to be enjoying yourself so much that you might just lose focus on time. But the thing is, if you do, and it cuts into the time that's available for the band to play, most bands stop playing by midnight because lots of venues don't actually allow a band to play past midnight anyway. What I'd advise is let everybody know ahead of time, particularly when it comes to the speeches, because those are always the things that run over and over and over. People just forget. Next up, when are the band able to do a sound check? Now, this gets overlooked a lot, but sometimes in between setting up the tables, when the wedding guests arrive, there actually isn't a slot for the band to even set up properly or do a sound check without it being amongst your guests. Now, if you're all right with that, that's absolutely fine. Sometimes it actually builds a bit of anticipation and the guests are like, ooh, we're gonna have some wedding entertainment. However, if you want things to be like really seamless, you need to look into when that band can do their sound check. Is there even a space where the band can set up out of sight, if that's what you'd like? You'd want that band to be there about 3 hours before the actual play time. The equipment would probably arrive even earlier than that. Sometimes there's workarounds. We've seen people put screens up. We've seen people move their guests into other rooms and let the band manager know, and there'll probably be something that can be worked out. Okay, next tip, food and drink. No, not for your guests, for the band. A wedding band can actually be there up until the early hours of 1 a.m., 1:30 a.m. So it's a long day. And there's probably hot food available and can be made up very easily by the catering company. And they need the energy to expend on that dance floor because they're going to be as pumped as your wedding guests. So keep their energy high with a nice hot meal. And this leads me on to my next point. Have a room available for the band. The band are going to want somewhere to change, to get ready, and they probably want to do that in the privacy of a room that's separate from being visible to your guests. The other one is check when you want your wedding band to play up until. Most wedding bands play up until midnight, and there's an additional fee if you need them to play past midnight. Next up, is the wedding band able to park and access the wedding venue easily? I say that because sometimes there's super difficult ways of getting in, and actually some of those central London venues have no parking available, and there might be a potential extra expense, but work it out with the band manager and there'll probably be a very easy solution to all of it. And that concludes wedding tips for booking a music wedding band. I hope that helps. I'll put a list of all these tips at the end of the video.